Hi friends, welcome to Ela On Demand. My name is Hilary. I want to thank you for taking time for yourself to practice with me today. We'll begin in an easy seat. Hands can rest on top of your knees, palms facing up. If you'd like to connect the tip of your index finger and thumb. And if it's comfortable, just close down the windows of the eyes. Take a few deep breaths. And just arrive. Let your inhales be full and the exhales slow. We're going to begin with a 4-4-8 count breath. So we'll inhale for 4, and we'll pause for 4, and then we'll exhale for 8. It's a lot like our square breathing, but without that last pause. So as you're ready, on your next inhale, pause. Exhale for 8. Inhale for 4. Pause for 4. Exhale for 8. I had a shaman friend tell me, hold your breath out too long before you breathe in the blessings that the universe has to offer you. So start ignoring that last pause and instead inhale the good. Hold the inhale. Let it out slowly. Release what isn't serving you anymore. And then be ready to breathe in new opportunities. I'm going to move on to a balancing pranayama called Nadi Shodhana. If you'd like to take in your right hand your first and second finger into your palm, grab your ring finger with your thumb and put them on either side of your nostrils. And we're going to use that same count for our breath, but we'll inhale with an open right nostril. And then we'll close for 4. And exhale through the left nose. And then inhale through the left. Close for 4. Exhale through the right for 8. Inhale through the right nostril. Pause for 4. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Pause. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Pause. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Hold for 4. Exhale through the right. One more time. Inhale through the right. Close. Exhale through the left. release your hand down to your lap. Take a few breaths and just feel the effects. This pranayama is good for balancing the left and right brain, feminine and the masculine, the sun and the moon, and all of the qualities that come with that. So anytime you need a little balance in your life, just knowing that you can slow down the breath, connecting with the breath, and just knowing that's always available. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Let it out through parted lips. And begin to create just a comfortable breathing pattern for our practice today. See if you can seamlessly connect the inhales to the exhales. This will be our first wave of the day. In today's practice, we will be making some really juicy undulation movements, some waves into spinal mobility, with an opportunity to draw some awareness into alignment as we transition, knowing that the steps through alignment or through transition, rather than jumping from shape to shape, there's an opportunity to experience a lot of sweetness and strength in each transition. So be mindful, move slow. Take a few more deep breaths here. Perhaps gentle constriction in the back of your throat for that ujjayi breath, those ocean sounds. I'd like to place a hand on your heart and a hand on your belly. Get that tactile feedback of your breath. We're going to move on to some 3-chamber diaphragmatic belly breath. So on your next inhale, draw it down deeply into the belly. Let it fill up the chest all the way to the top of the throat. And on the exhale, pull the navel into the spine. Let the chest empty the throat. Inhale deeply to the belly. Chest and ribs expand all the way to the top of the collarbones and throat. Exhale, pull the belly into the spine. Empty out the chest and the collarbones. Inhale to the belly. Front ribs, side ribs, full rib cage expands all the way to the top. Exhale, pull the belly into the spine. Empty out the chest. Empty out the throat. One more time. Big breath down into the belly. Feel it swell. Chest swells all the way to the top of the throat. Fill up. Exhale, pull the belly in. Draw the belly to the spine. Empty out the chest. Empty out the collarbones and the throat. Return back to that cyclical wave of breath. On your next inhale, drop your chin to your chest and roll your shoulder or your right ear over to your right shoulder. Feel the stretch on the left side of your neck as you breathe deep. Exhale through center, chin to chest, left ear to left shoulder. Breathe deep. Exhale through center, and back over to the right. Exhale through center, chin to chest, left ear, left shoulder on an inhale. And back through center. Let your neck return to neutral. Draw your shoulders up to your ears, squeeze them back. And then on an exhale, let them come down the back body. Roll forward and up on the breath in, and down and back on the breath out. Another breath in, big breath out. Let's switch those circles. Now coming up the back on a breath in, forward and down on the breath out. 3 circles here. On your next breath in, open your arms up wide, press the chest and heart forward. Exhale, round forward, reach forward like you're holding a ball in between your hands. Feel the roundness of the upper back as the heart moves through the back of the spine. Little tuck in the tail for the full roundness from top to bottom. Inhale, open up the chest. Heart goes forward, tailbone tips back and up. Maybe the gaze can look upward. Exhale, round forward, reaching forward, full protraction of the shoulder blades as the heart presses into the back line. One last time, opening up, cactusing the arms, heart forward, gaze forward. Reach the hands up this time, opening up the side body. Palms touch above you and draw them down to your heart center. Take notice of your thumb pressing into your sternum, each little fingertip finding its pair, setting an intention for your practice today. Circle sweep the arms wide one last time. And then reach forward, connect to the mat in front of you and roll up onto your hands and knees. Find a few organic shapes here, maybe working into the hips or up into the shoulders. Just take a moment to explore how the body's feeling today. And then return to an even, stable table. Stack your shoulders over your wrists. Spread your hands nice and wide. All 4 corners of your palms taking an even weight. Gripping into each little fingertip onto the mat. Gentle squeeze of the forearms inward. Engagement of the biceps. Gentle bend in the elbows. And then we'll just play around with finding length in the spine from the crown of the head out the tip of your tail. Engage through the low belly to protect the spine. And then begin to tip the sit bones up to the ceiling. And then gently tuck the tail under. Just finding subtle pelvic tilt upward and down. See how that activates your lower back muscles, lengthening through the front of your core. Let's begin to crawl that movement up. So as you fan the tail, sending the sit bones to the sky, begin to lengthen through the front belly, compressing the low back. Send the heart forward as the mid-back shortens, compresses, activates. Opening up the collarbones, the gaze can look forward, maybe up, gazing up through your brow. And then starting with the tail, just begin to tip your sit bones or tip your tail, right? Lowering the sit bones, shortening the hamstrings to the back of the knees. And then swallow up through your pelvic floor, engage through your low belly. Find some roundness in the low back. Mid-back, pressing your heart out through the back of your shoulder blades. Tuck your chin to your chest and exhale all your air. Begin to just tip the tailbone to the sky. Find some activation and length in the front body as you shorten the lower back and the mid-back. pressing the heart forward, squeezing the shoulder blades back, breaking open the collarbones, heart forward, gaze forward. Perhaps the eyes look up through your brow. One more time, tucking the tail, shortening the sit bones to the back of the knees. Swallow up through the pelvic floor, pull in at the navel, lengthening through the low back and the mid back and the upper back, tucking the chin. This time, tipping the tail, lengthening through the front body, sending the heart forward. We're going to begin to sit back onto our heels. Not all the way. We're going to keep this active. So butt back, heart forward, gaze forward. And then when you get back onto your heels, begin the process of rounding from your tail through your low back, swallowing up the front body, riding that wave of breath forward. Once your shoulders stack over your hands, begin to fan the tail, lengthen through the front body, shorten through the back, gliding back to your heels. Butt back, heart forward, gaze forward. When you sit back, begin a few of those wave-like cat-cow motions. One last time. Inhale, find that roundness. And then when your shoulders stack over your wrists, drop your heart in between your hands. On an exhale. Yeah. And then untuck your toes, press your toenails into the mat, and glide up to a low cobra. Squeezing the upper back. Maybe little to no weight in the hands. Lift your fingertips off the mat if you want a little bit more. Take a breath in, puff the chest forward, engaging through the upper back muscles, pressing into your toenails for a little bit more leverage. Take a breath. And then on the exhale, pressing into the mat and gliding back through that arched spine to our active child's pose. Rounding forward, swallowing up through the front body, rounding through the back. Exhale, arc the spine, find length on an inhale, and then drop the heart in between the hands. If you'd like a little more, you can untuck your toes and then unfurl the spine into that low cobra, just riding that ripple that we've learned, starting in the tailbone, riding up the mid-back. Little to no weight in the hands when you get to your low cobra. And if you want a little more, you can clasp your hands behind you and take another breath, filling up the chest. Inhale. Exhale, break the clasp. Hands on either side of your rib cage. Tuck your toes and glide back. Arc your spine into that active child's pose. One last time, rounding forward. Arc the spine, tip the tail. Inhale, find some length to the spine. And then exhale, hover the knees off the earth and glide the sit bones back into a downward dog. Generous bend in the knees, buoyancy in the arms and elbows. Feet hip distance apart. Come high up on the knees, straighten through the legs, so activate through the front line of the legs. Swallow up through the pelvic floor, round through the low back, the mid back, and the upper back. Glide forward until your shoulders cross over your wrists, bend the knees, arc the spine, tip the tail, glide back. Inhale, high on the toes, activate the front legs, swallow up the front line, rounding through the back, creeping your way up. Bend the knees, tip the tail, glide back. One more wave. High on the toes, swallow up the pelvic floor, pull the navel into spine, round through the low back, mid back, upper back, and then let your knees come back down to the earth. Fan the tail, glide back to that active child's pose. This time, sitting up on your heels, Hands up on your lap, face up. Take a little moment here and feel the effects of a little bit of movement, a little bit of undulation in the spine. Noticing all the tingling sensations, your blood pumping, your breath moving as it will. Try to slow it down a little. Those long inhales, slow exhales. Inhale, opening the chest, cactus the arms. Puff the chest forward, gaze looks where the heart's going. Exhale, rounding forward, reaching forward, hands out in front of you. Swallow up through the pelvic floor as you round forward. Tuck your toes if they aren't already. Exhale, arc the spine, tip the tail. Heart goes forward. Inhale, find some length in the spine. Exhale, heart drops in between the hands. Once again, hover the heart, untuck the toes, pressing toenails into the mat, starting with the lower back. Unfurl, ride that ripple into a low cobra. Reaching the arms back if you want a little more, perhaps clasping the hands one last time. Release the clasp, hands come to the sides of the rib cage, maybe pressing up into a full cobra, and then gliding back through that arched spine to an active child's pose. Swallow up through the front line, round through the back body. When your shoulders cross over your hands, begin the arc, let your knees hover, and glide back into down dog. Take a few breaths here. Let the right leg rise high. Keep the pinky toe facing the earth or pointing down towards the earth, keeping your hips square. Yeah, bend the knee and squeeze it into your nose, nice and tight. So we've got this down dog shape, this down dog triangle shape, and we've just squeezed the right knee as tightly into our chest as we can. Maybe even the knee and nose can touch. Extend back for a three-legged dog, and then lower the right leg back down. Left leg rises, starting with the heel. Keep that pinky toe facing the dirt. Draw the knee into the chest, squeeze tight. The heel squeezing to the bum. Maybe even knee to nose can touch. Take a breath. And then extend the leg back to three-legged dog. And return the left foot to the earth. Hip distance apart. High on the toes, activate the fronts of the legs. Swallow up through the pelvic floor, pull the navel into the belly or into the spine. Glide forward through that wave of breath. And this time, slowly unfurl the hips down towards the mat for an upward facing dog with your toes tucked under. Point the right toes behind you, take a breath. And on your exhale, bring your right knee to your nose, glide up to downward facing dog. Take a look at your right hand. Flex your right foot and step your right foot on the inside of your right hand. Hip distance apart from your left foot. So aligning as we transition, you can halfway lift to level out the head and the heart. And on the exhale, let the left knee come to the mat. Setting up for a low lunge. Roundness in the spine. Take a breath in and unfurl, reaching your hands skyward. Feel the length through your side body. And then exhale, cactus arms. So cinch your waist, puff your chest, heart forward, gaze forward. Stability in our foundation. And then as you're ready, begin to straighten that front leg for a hamstring stretch. But we're really hinging at the hips and drawing the heart forward. So I'd say straight-ish in the right leg. Flex the right foot if you want a little bit more. Yeah, and just tip forward. Inhale, drawing the weight forward once more. Reach the hands high. And then once they reach this top, straighten the back left leg, high crescent. Once again, foundation, nice and strong. Lifting with our arms. Reach 45 degrees, the upper corner of your room. Take a breath in. Look at your right foot. See it maybe wiggling, those stabilizers growing stronger. And then exhale, frame the foot, straighten the front leg, maybe even flexing the toes, coming up on the heel. Take a breath here. I like to come high on my fingertips for this, like a protect your cupcake mudra. And then lift the heel and glide the right foot back to downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Coming high on the toes, sinking the heels. They don't have to touch the ground, but do imagine that length created in the hamstrings. High on the toes, activate through the fronts of the legs, swallow up the front line, pull the navel into spine as you ride that wave of breath forward. And then slower than you want, lowering the hips into that upward facing dog with your toes tucked under. Pointing out through the left toes. Take a breath in, and then exhale, gliding back to downward dog, drawing the left knee into nose. Flex the left foot, glance forward, and then step your left foot on the inside of that left hand. Halfway lift, level out the spine, and then exhale, bending into the knees. Left knee stacks over the left ankle, right knee touches down, roundness in the spine. Take a breath and let it lift you. Arms reach for the sky. Find the length in the side body. And then exhale, cactus arms. So cinching the waist, puffing the chest, letting it lift you higher. Exhale, hinging at the waist, flexing the left foot, left leg straight-ish. Feel the activity in the calf and the back of the left hamstrings here. Yeah, drawing the shoulders back. Maybe able to see your cactus arms, your hands, out through your peripheral vision. And then coming back up and through. When your hands reach skyward, straightening that back right leg, high crescent. Reach forward 45 degrees on an inhale. Take a look at that left foot, noticing the stabilizers. Shaking, wiggling, building strength. Take a breath in, find some length from your fingertips down your right foot, and then exhale, melt forward, framing the foot, straightening the left leg, maybe flexing the toes or flexing the foot. High on the fingertips, heel lifts and glides back to downward facing dog. Toes, engage through the legs, swallow up the front line, press out through the back line, glide forward. Drop the knees, fan the tailbone, drop the heart forward, gaze forward, settle back, butt back, heart forward to that active child's pose, and then melt into full child's. Or sit up into a hero shape. Tops of the hands find the tops of your thighs. Close down the eyes once more. Noticing the heat, maybe a little sweat. All the tingly sensations that are vibing through the body. All those ripples of movement. Come back to your breath. Open up the arms wide, chest open. Take a breath in. Exhale, reach forward, hands in front of you. Roll through your first wave. Tuck the toes if they haven't been. Exhale, tip the tailbone to the sky. Send the heart forward. Take a breath, find some length in the spine. Exhale, gliding hips back. High on the toes, inhale, wave forward. Exhale, letting the hips slowly lower into that upward facing dog, floating dock. Press the right toes out to the back wall. Take a breath in. Exhale, squeeze the knee into the nose. Flex the foot, glance forward and step to the inside of your right thumb. Feet hip distance apart. Take a breath in. Exhale, lowering the left knee, stacking the right over the right ankle. Circle sweep the arms, unfurling the spine. Exhale, cactus arms. This time, if you'd like a little more, you can clasp your hands behind you. Yeah, opening the chest a little more. Little gentle back bend as the gaze looks up, challenging the balance. Break your clasp, let your hands face the dirt as if somebody was pulling your hands from behind you. Let's begin to take that hamstring stretch. Leg straight-ish, flex the foot. Inhale, gliding the weight to the right foot. Circle sweep the arms when they reach their height, straightening the left leg. High crescent. Take a breath in to prepare. Exhale, hinging at that 45 degrees. Take a look at your front foot. Now we're going to take a breath to prepare. And on the exhale, stepping into the right foot, reaching forward to that airplane warrior 3. Maybe the hands come to the heart center, or maybe you need to touch down for a little bit of support. That's fine. We're just going to keep the left leg shooting back behind us, working the crown of the head forward. Take one more breath here. Shaking and wiggling is good. And then rise to standing. Maybe touch down, or maybe challenge your balance and swing the foot through. Flex the foot, flex the ankle. Inhale, circle, sweep the arms. Exhale, cactus arms as you straighten the left leg in front of you, parallel to the mat. Inhale, bend the knee, reach high. Exhale, cactus arms. Send the left leg behind you, keeping that cobra spine in the upper body. Warrior 3 legs in the lower body. Coming back up and through. Hands to heart center as you extend the leg out in front of you. Inhale, reach high, bend the knee. Exhale, cactus arms, left leg behind you. Funny warrior cobra. Now this time, reach your hands out in front of you for counterbalance, and then slowly bending into the right leg. Slowly and with intention. Pay attention to where the left toes make connection to the mat. Rise to your high lunge. Take a breath here, and then exhale, fold over that right leg, straightening out into that pyramid shape. High on the fingertips, flex the toes to the shin, lift up, step back to down dog. Exhale. Coming high on the toes. Send the sit bones to the sky, gently lowering the heels, finding that length through the hamstrings. High on the toes, activation through the front legs, swallow up through the pelvic floor. Take a breath and ride, roundness through the low back, mid back, upper back. When the shoulders stack, just begin to lower the pelvis down to that floating dog or upward facing dog with your toes tucked under. Heart forward, take a breath, point the left toes behind you, and then exhale, draw the left knee to the nose. Yeah. Gazing forward, gently step to the inside of the left thumb. Feet are hip distance apart as we align and transition. Exhale, lowering the right knee down to the mat. Left knee stacks over the left ankle. Unfurl on an inhale, lifting the hands skyward. Exhale, cactus arms. Once again, if you liked that clasp behind you, maybe grab the unpreferred way to interlace your fingers. Yeah. Heart forward, open in the chest. Maybe the gaze looks upward, challenging the balance. Break the clasp on an inhale, palms facing the dirt like someone's pulling your arms behind you, your collarbones and chest opening up more. And then exhale, begin to straighten-ish that front left leg, hinging the hips, so drawing the heart forward, not so much rounding the spine over for a hand stretch. Coming up through our high lunge, when your hands reach skyward, the right leg straightens, 45-degree lean. Find some length from your right ankle all the way out your fingertips. Take a breath in to prepare. And on the exhale, shift your weight forward. Hover the right leg parallel to the mat. Reach forward. Warrior 3. Hands can come to the heart as we rise to standing, maybe challenging yourself to stay lifted off of that right foot. Flex the ankle, flex the knee. Maybe just stay here. Or circle sweep the arms upright. Straighten the front leg, cactus arms. Reach up high, bend the knee. Cactus the arms once more as the right leg goes behind. Little moving balance challenge. Got that cobra spine. Warrior 3 legs. Inhale, coming back up and through, lifting high with the arms. Flex the foot, flex the ankle, hands to heart center as you extend the right leg forward, parallel to the mat. Flexors turned on. Lifting high, bend the knee. Exhale, cactus arms, reaching out through the root of the big toe behind you. Extend your arms out in front of you for counterbalance. And then slowly, slowly, slowly lower. Bending into that right leg, connecting with the left toes. High lunge. Folding forward. Flex the left foot. Lift the heel off the mat and gently glide back to downward facing dog. Maybe a little wave in the spine to shake it out. Or maybe you choose stillness. High on the toes. Rounding forward once more. Dropping the knees, fanning the tailbone, sending that arc through the spine. Rippling forward, gaze looks forward. Settle back into that active child's pose. Take a breath here. And then round forward when you're ready. Tip the tailbone to the sky. Lengthen through the front body. And glide back to downward facing dog. Right leg rises, starting with the heel. Keep the toes pointing down. And then bend the knee and draw into the right tricep. Step to the outside of the right hand and settle into a lizard lunge. We'll just be here for a few breaths. Maybe dropping that left knee if it feels better. making fists with the hands if you want to take a load off the wrists. Yeah. A few breaths. Considering these deep stretches, I always come back to how hydrated am I today? How hydrated have I been this week? How juicy are my joints? It makes a difference. Coming up off of that back knee if you've lowered, and then just slowly with control stepping to the outside of the left hand. And we're gonna settle down slowly, slower than you wanna go. And then once you reach your malasana squat, parallel the feet and rise back up, straighten the legs and fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, widen the toes, settle down, slower than you wanna go. A little slower. And then when you reach your malasana squat, bring your hands to heart center, elbows on the insides of your knees, spine lengthening, pelvis down. If you'd like a little twist, you can always let the left back sides of the fingertips touch the earth. Open up the right arm to the sky. There's a bind here if it's available. Wrap your arms behind your back. Give a little squeeze as you look over that right shoulder. Open up on a big breath in. Exhale back to heart center. Twisting the other way, let the backs of the right fingertips touch the earth. Open up the left hand to the sky. If that clasp is available, wrap your arms behind your back. Gaze over your left shoulder. Coming back through on a breath, and then exhale, palms to heart center. Pressing your hands into the mat in front of you, parallel your feet, and we'll just gently step back to downward facing dog. Be easy here. One more wave, high on the toes, active through the front legs, swallow up through the front line, round through the back line, gazing forward as the hips begin to slowly lower. Pointing out with the left toes. Exhale, draw the knee into the nose. Hips are high, nice and tight, compact ball. And then step the left foot onto the outside of the left hand, settle into lizard. Maybe dropping the knee, a little support here. Maybe if there's blocks, you can drop some blocks under your forearms. We'll just be here a few moments. Coming up off of that back knee, and then with control, step forward to the outside of the right hand. If you want a little challenge this time, hands to heart center as you slowly, slower than you want to go, lower your hands or your push to the malasana squat. Staying here, finding stability. If you'd like a little more, we can try for our arm balance. Plant the hands in front of you, parallel the feet. Generous bend in the elbows, but activity through the arms. High on the toes, plug your knees into the back of your triceps, up at the armpits, and then just play around with tipping your weight forward. Just ever so slightly until your toes leave the earth. When you find your balance, flex your knees in tight, squeeze the heel to the bum, point the toes towards each other, crow pose. And then with as much control, lowering back out of it, hands to heart center, slowly lowering into malasana squat. Reaching forward, holding that ball in your hands. Slowly lower the bum without a thud or a squish onto the earth. Draw your feet and legs together, parallel the shins to the earth. boat pose. If you need a little support, go ahead and grab the back of your hamstrings. But we're really working on the core here and keeping the heart and the chest open and forward. Yeah, getting any roundness out of the spine, out of there. Nice and firm. Yeah, or parallel the arms. If you want even more, you can point the toes, straighten the legs. Oh, mama. And if you're like, no way, that's too much, just flex the feet, come back to where it was comfortable. Come back to where it was challenging, but not too much, yeah? So we're gonna grab the tops of the legs and then take a couple of rolls. Yeah. All the way to the back body. Yeah, let the soles of your feet meet the earth and perhaps a little tick-tock, left and right. And then let the right ankle cross over the left knee. Yeah. See how this is feeling and draw the left leg into your chest. Interlace the hands behind that left hamstring. I like to press my elbow onto the inner side of my knee just for a little bit more of a dynamic stretch. Flex the feet, maybe point the toes. Yeah, see how that's feeling. Little reclined pigeon pose. Take a few breaths and release any tightness or tension that is lingering in the hip joints. And then slowly lower the left ankle back down to the earth. Sole of the right foot touches down. Switch over. Left ankle on the right knee. Take a breath here. And then draw the right knee or right leg into the chest. Again, that left elbow can pop into the inside of the left knee if it feels good to make it more, I don't know, more something. Take a few breaths here. Finding space in these big joints. Little pointing and flexing of the ankle joints before you slowly return the right foot to the ground, left foot follows. Let's give a squeeze of both knees into the chest, a nice tight hug, and a gentle rock side to side. It's that freebie massage. And then open up the arms wide and roll the knees over to the right side, gaze over to the left, keeping that left shoulder heavy and flat to the earth. Right hand can find its way to the belly. You can feel that diaphragmatic breath, that belly swell and contract with every breath in and out. It's that pranic pump, your breath pumping life force through your veins. It can be nice to put the right hand on the right thigh, left hand on the left rib cage for a little traction. Just the gentle weight of your hands can even be enough. And then coming back through center and twisting over to the other side. Gaze out over the right fingertips, keeping the right shoulder heavy. And take a few breaths here, considering what you are wringing out. Yeah, what are you letting go of? Every breath, alkalizing your body. Coming back through center. A little gentle roll in the hip joints or small circles with the knees. Maybe a happy baby is in your practice. Grab the outside of your feet as they reach for the sky, pulling them down, pushing away through at the hands with your feet. So it's like this active push-pull, flattening the low back to the mat. And then letting the toes and soles of the feet come together, dropping the feet gently onto the mat below you for a wide butterfly. Maybe the hands find their way to heart center and on your belly. And take a few breaths here, noticing how the breath moves the body even in stillness. When you're satisfied, let the legs grow long and be as wide as either side of the mat. Your arms can fall down at your sides, the tops of the hands connecting to the floor. Close down the eyes, take a deep breath, and try to release any tension that might be lingering with every exhale. Take your notice down to your feet, down to your ankles and the soles of your feet. Try to soften and find stillness in your toes and the arches. Maybe practicing a little gratitude for all of the adventures your feet have taken you on. And crawl that kindness and awareness up to your calves, letting them be heavy and soft. Working that loving kindness up your thighs, the fronts and the backs and the sides. Take notice of your hips and your pelvis. These big joints hold so much. But just try to allow some release here today. Noticing your breath moving through your belly and chest. And letting your exhale drop heavy into all the points of your back line. Working up your back into your shoulders. Shoulders hold so much. They bear so much tension. But maybe there's a possibility of just relaxing and releasing. Softening through the arm bones, down the forearms, taking notice of the backs of the hands connecting to the earth, each little finger in the palm of your hand. A little gratitude for all that our hands hold each day, all they do for us. Softening once more, allowing all the bones to just drop heavy, heavy on the earth that holds us so kindly. Working our way back up to the shoulders and upper back, releasing any tension in the neck, noticing the back of the skull weighing heavy. Soften the brow. Soften around the eyes. Soften the whole face. Release that clench of your jaw. Take a few breaths in and just allow yourself to be still. This is where the healing happens. Shavasana is where we allow the heat to simmer and the inflammation in our body to disperse. This is where we integrate all of the downloads from our higher self. So be sure to give yourself this time asana today, I would encourage maybe stay for a breath or two, a minute or a moment longer than you think you're ready for, longer than when you're ready to get up. You're giving yourself this time, and that's going to ripple out to others. So allow this rest and allow this stillness. And just breathe deeply here, knowing you're perfect just the way you are. And when you are ready to get up, be kind and move slow. Maybe a full body stretch, rolling off to your favorite side, staying there for a breath or two. And then slowly pressing yourself up to a seat. No rush, nowhere to go. And then take a moment in your comfortable, easy seat to realign the spine. You've been here before. Yeah. And allow yourself a meditative moment. Thank you for joining me today. I look forward to the day we get to see each other again. The light in me sees and honors you. Namaste.